we choose water as our symbol of empowerment. These were the words that Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview wrote as the inspiration and impetus for the service that they constructed for the opening of the Women and Religion Continental Convention of Unitarian Universalists in 1980, held in East Lansing, Michigan. The service was meant to be a way to invite all of the women who were in attendance, many of whom were from all over the United States, into a moment of sacred space to set the tone for the rest of the vacation. While I am sure the initial water communion ritual was a powerful moment that the women gathered knew they would remember forever, I wonder sometimes if they had any idea of just how transcendent that first water communion would be, and how it would become a tradition that many UU congregations all across the country would adapt as a way to begin the start of their church years. But even though water is more than simply a metaphor, there is no end to the metaphorical ways in which different congregations talk about water at their water communion ritual. If you have been a UU for a while, or you have had the pleasure of attending many different UU congregations for their water communions, I am willing to go out on a limb and say that you have heard water spoken of and described in many different ways. As a UU minister who is tasked with the mantle of writing a water communion sermon every year, the water communion presents its own unique set of challenges. Firstly, it is usually a shorter sermon, which means that I have less to say, which I'm sure is a blessing in disguise for many of you in the congregation. But the second challenge is asking myself the question, what can I possibly say about water that has not already been said? How do I make meaning out of water in a way that is still relevant and that people still need to hear? Water is a multifaceted force of nature. It is essential to life, yet it is also capable of immense destruction. It can be as gentle as a summer rain and also as powerful as a hurricane. It is a constant force, ever changing, ever present, which is why it is a fitting symbol as we gather to mark the beginning of a new church year. Water, like our faith, can be a source of sustenance and renewal. It quenches our thirsts, cleanses our bodies, and nourishes our souls. It is a symbol of rebirth. In the quiet moments by a still pond or the rush of a waterfall, we find peace and we find inspiration. But water can also be a force of chaos. Floods and tsunamis wreak havoc, tearing apart communities and leaving devastation in their wake. In the same way, life can be turbulent, filled with storms that test our faith and resilience. Water can also be elusive and scarce, being the farthest thing away from us and leaving us parched when we need it the most. Yet even in the midst of these trials, as much as water ebbs, it still finds a way to flow back and be present once again, a constant reminder that life endures. And it is in this duality that we find a profound connection. Water, like our faith, can bridge divides. It flows across borders, connecting oceans, continents, and people from different places and lived experiences once separated by great divides. It nourishes life in the most unexpected of places. In the same way, our faith can unite us, transcending differences of race, religion, and culture. It can bring us together as a community bound by shared values common purpose. It is why what we do here in this water communion is so important. For this moment of sacred space, the water that we add, which we have brought from different places, intermingles together, and in this moment we are physically and spiritually united. Wherever you have come from, whatever the journey you have been on, and wherever it is that it has taken you, whether you are returning to this community after spending time away, whether you have never found a community in which you can find yourself home, and something you have seen or heard or experienced makes you feel compelled to reach out, in this moment we are all brought together and connected by the waters that we share here. As we gather for this water communion, may you reflect on the ways in which water has shaped our lives. May you consider its power to both nurture and destroy, to unite and divide. And may we commit ourselves to being like water, flowing through the world with compassion, resilience, and a spirit of connection. As we share this water together, let us remember that we are interconnected, part of a larger body. Let us renew our commitment to building a community where all are welcome, where we lift one another up, and where our faith is a source of strength and hope. May this new church year be a time of growth, renewal, and unity. Let us embrace the challenges that lie ahead with courage and grace, knowing that we are not alone. For as the water flows, so too does our spirit, ever changing, ever present, and ever connected. As the music plays, you are invited to come up and add the water that you have brought with you to the glass bowl here in the center. With the waters that we collect here, just as it is with the people who walk through our doors, wherever your water has come from, whatever journey it has been on that has brought it here today, it is welcome here. If you would like to share a little of where your water has come from or the importance that it has for you, you can feel free to come to the microphone and tell us its story. And if you are anything like your minister, and you have walked through those doors on Water Communion Sunday and have promptly descended into an existential crisis because you have forgotten to bring any water to share today and you do not want to be that person who did not bring any water to add to the bowl, do not panic. I got you. Allow me to draw your attention to the glass pitcher of emergency water next to the bowl. You may feel free to pour your water from there. As has been our tradition the past few years, the waters that are collected here today will be saved and used to water our plants, our roses, so that all of the connected energy that we have added to these waters can be redistributed to bless and nourish both our physical, natural space and the community that it represents. May it ever continue to be so. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Thank you all so much.